Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, An African Tale by John Steptoe. This is another one of my favorite books. I love the art and the message. Think about what's important in this book. Another sort of spin on a Cinderella tale. Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. A long time ago, in a certain place in Africa, a small village lay across a river and half a day's journey from a city where a great king lived. A man named Mufaro lived in this village with his two daughters, who were called Mynira and Naisha. Everyone agreed that Mynira and Naisha were very beautiful. Mynira was almost always in a bad temper, like a bad mood. She teased her sister whenever her father's back was turned, and she had been heard to say, "Someday, Naisha, I will be queen, and you will be a servant in my household." "If that should come to pass," Naisha responded, "I will be pleased to serve you. But why do you say such things? You are clever and strong and beautiful. Why are you so unhappy?" "Because everyone talks about how kind you are, and they praise everything you do," Mynira replied. "I'm certain that father loves you best, but when I am queen, everyone will know that your silly kindness is only weakness." They're both beautiful, but very different. Naisha was sad that Mynira felt this way, but she ignored her sister's words and went about her chores. Naisha kept a small plot of land, on which she grew millet, sunflowers, yams, and vegetables. She always sang as she worked, and some said it was her singing that made her crops more bountiful than anyone else's. You see it? It's kind of stuck in the middle of a snake. One day, Naisha noticed a small garden snake resting beneath the yam vine. "Good day, little Nyoka," she called to him. "You are welcome here. You will keep away any creature who might spoil my vegetables." She bent forward, gave the little snake a loving pat on the head, and then returned to her work. From that day on, Nyoka was always at Naisha's side when she tended her garden. It was said that she sang all the more sweetly when he was there. I'm going to read that again, make it sound nice. It was said that she sang all the more sweetly when he was there. So if you ever get tripped up when you're reading, just read it again. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, I'll do it this way. Mufaro knew nothing of how Mynira treated Naisha. Naisha was too considerate of her father's feelings to complain, and Mynira was always careful to behave herself when Mufaro was around. Early one morning, a messenger from the city arrived. The great king wanted a wife. "The most worthy and beautiful daughters in the land are invited to appear before the king, and he will choose one to become his queen," the messenger proclaimed. Mufaro called Mynira and Naisha to him. It would be a great honor to have one of you chosen," he said. "Prepare yourselves to journey to the city. I will call together all our friends to make a wedding party. We will leave tomorrow as the sun rises." But my father," Mynira said sweetly, "it would be painful for either of us to leave you, even to be wife to the king. I know Naisha would grieve to death if she were parted from you. I am strong. Send me to the city, and let poor Naisha be happy here with you." Mufaro beamed with pride. "The king has asked for the most worthy and the most beautiful. No, Mynira, I cannot send you alone. Only a king can choose between two such worthy daughters. Both of you must go." Our little plan backfired. Oh, that looks kind of scary. That night, when everyone was asleep, Mynira stole quietly out of the village. She had never been in the forest at night before, and she was frightened. But her greed to be the first to appear before the king drove her on. In her hurry, she almost stumbled over a small boy, who suddenly appeared, standing in the path. "Please," said the boy, "I am hungry. Will you give me something to eat?" "I have brought only enough for myself," Mynheera replied. "But please," said the boy, "I'm so very hungry." "Out of my way, boy! Tomorrow I will become your queen. How dare you stand in my path?" Do you see her? So there's Mynheera. And then who's that? After traveling for what seemed to be a great distance, Mynheera came to a small clearing. There, silhouetted against the moonlight, was an old woman seated on a large stone. The old woman spoke. "I will give you some advice. Mynheera. Soon after you pass the place where two paths cross, you will see a grove of trees. They will laugh at you. You must not laugh in return. Later, you will meet a man with his head under his arm. You must be polite to him." "How do you know my name? How dare you advise your future queen? Stand aside, you ugly old woman," Mynheera scolded, and then rushed on her way without looking back. Just as the old woman had foretold, Mynheera came to a grove of trees, and they did indeed seem to be laughing at her. "I must be calm," Mynheera thought. "I will not be frightened." She looked up at the trees and laughed out loud. "Ha! I laugh at you, trees!" she shouted as she hurried on. Was that what she was supposed to do? It was not yet dawn when Mynheera heard the sound of rushing water. "The river must be up ahead," she thought. "The great city is just on the other side." But there, on the rise, she saw a man with his head tucked under his arm. Mynheera ran past him without speaking. "A queen acknowledges only those who please her," she said to herself. "I will be queen. I will be queen," she chanted as she hurried on toward the city. Do you think she's going to be queen? Nyesha woke at the first light of dawn. As she put on her finest garments, she thought how her life might be changed forever beyond this day. "I'd much prefer to live here," she admitted to herself. "I'd have to leave this village and never see my father or sing to little Nyoka again." Her thoughts were interrupted by loud shouts and a commotion from the wedding party assembled outside. Mynheera was missing. Everyone bustled about, searching and calling for her. When they found her footprints on the path that led to the city, they decided to go on as planned. As the wedding party moved through the forest, brightly plumed birds darted about in the cool green shadows beneath the trees. Though anxious about her sister, Nyesha was soon filled with excitement about all that she was to see. They were deep in the forest when she saw the small boy standing by the side of the path. "You must be hungry," she said, and handed him a yam she had brought for her lunch. The boy smiled and disappeared as quietly as he had come. Later, as they were approaching the place where the two paths crossed, the old woman appeared and silently pointed the way to the city. Nyesha thanked her and gave her a small pouch filled with sunflower seeds. The sun was high in the sky when the party came to the grove of towering trees. Their uppermost branches seemed to bow down to Nyesha as she passed beneath them. At last, someone announced that they were near their destination. How is Nyesha and Mynheera's journeys different? How were they the same? Isn't that beautiful? Nyesha ran ahead and topped the rise before the others could catch up with her. She stood transfixed at her first sight of the city. "Oh, my father," she called. "A great spirit must stand guard here. Just look at what lies before us. I never in all my life dreamed there could be anything so beautiful." Arm in arm, Nyesha and her father descended the hill, crossed the river, and approached the city gate. Just as they entered, through the great doors, the air was rent by piercing cries. and Mynira ran wildly out of the chamber at the center of the enclosure. When she saw Naisha, she fell upon her, sobbing, don't go to the king, my sister. Oh, please, father, do not let her go, she cried hysterically. There's a great monster in there, a snake with 5 heads. He said that he knew all my faults, and that I displeased him. He would have swallowed me alive if I had not run. Oh, please, sister, please do not go inside that place. It frightened Naisha to see her sister so upset. But, leaving her father to comfort Mynira, she bravely made her way to the chamber and opened the door. What will she find there? On the seat of the great chief's stool lay the little garden snake. Naisha laughed with relief and joy. My little friend, she exclaimed, it's such a pleasure to see you. But why are you here? I am the king, Nayoka replied, and there, before Naisha's eyes, the garden snake changed shape. It's magic. There he is. I am the king. I am also the hungry boy with whom you shared a yam in the forest, and the old woman whom you made a gift of sunflower seeds. But you know me best as Nayoka, because I have been all of these. I know you to be the most worthy and most beautiful daughter in the land. It would make me very happy if you would be my wife. And so it was that a long time ago, Naisha agreed to be married. The king's mother and sisters took Naisha to their house, and the wedding preparations began. The best weavers in the land laid out their finest cloth for her wedding garments. Villagers from all around were invited to the celebration, and a great feast was held. Naisha prepared the bread for the wedding feast from millet that she had brought from her village. Mufaro proclaimed to all who could hear him that he was the happiest father in all the land, for he was blessed with 2 beautiful and worthy daughters, Naisha the queen, and Mynira, a servant in the queen's household. Ah, so what happened at the end? You remember the beginning? What Mynira said? That must be their wedding. So how was Naisha and Mynira the same? And how were they different? And what were the consequences of those differences?